All right, let me minimize this as well. All right, thank you so much for joining me. So yeah, the channel pitch today is about VulScan, so vulnerability management as a service, and VulScan is the vulnerability management product that was quote unquote built for the rest of us. So if you do any type of security webinar, I guarantee you will have obligatory statistics. So this is the obligatory statistics page, but it just kind of shows what's going on in the industry today. So when it comes to data breaches, the average data breach takes about 277 days to be identified. So if you're out there and you have a customer and they have a data breach, well, guess what? Most likely the odds are that the cyber criminals were in that environment for over 200 days. And of course, what they were doing there was trying to exfiltrate data, put in payloads, malware, CryptoLocker, and everything else. 83% of organizations suffered at least one breach. So it is not a matter of if, but when. And so what you want to do is mitigate that as much as possible. The average data breach is over $4 million. So the cost of doing vulnerability management is negligible, if completely insignificant, when you look at the actual cost of having to remediate a data breach. No surprise, you take 83% of companies that have had data breaches and an average cost of over $4 million. What we see is that within 18 months, 60% of SMBs end up going out of business after a cyber attack. It's not going away. In the last 2 years, cyber attacks have increased 150%, and they're not only increasing, but they're increasing significantly. So last year there were over 20,000 CVEs. Those are common vulnerabilities and exploits in 2021. And again, I don't see this slowing down. So with all that, again, there should be no surprise to anybody on this call. If you're on this call, you probably are a multifunction IT professional, and all you do all day, every day is try to protect your environments from all these cyber criminals that are out there. So why is automated vulnerability scanning essential? First and foremost, it does strengthen your network. That is what we are trying to do. We're trying to protect our networks. Allows you to identify unpatched areas. It is amazing to me, the number one remediation step for pretty much most of the vulnerabilities out there is just make sure that you are on the latest version of the patches and firmware and so on. If you're in the compliance industry, I won't go through all of them. Vulnerability scanning is either highly recommended or required, and so that's something that you should be doing as part of any compliance type of offering or security assurance. Identify every vulnerability before it's exploited. Again, it's pretty crazy, but if you look at the numbers, the average vulnerability when there's an exploit has been out for at least 2 years. So it's been identified, it's been patched, but those environments have not been updated so that they're secure from that vulnerability. And then from a remediation perspective, if you understand vulnerability scores, the latest version, there's effectively 4 categories. So you've got critical, high, medium, and low. So you want to remediate all those critical and high vulnerabilities as soon as possible. We did a big, massive survey. I've got one question that I'm just going to use here as an overview. And inside of the survey, we asked folks, why don't you do more vulnerability scanning, or what's the main reason that you don't do it? So first and foremost, it was cost. There's lots of great vulnerability products out there. They're not really built for the SMB space, which effectively means they're not built for MSPs, and they are very expensive. Number 2 was ease of use. So the feedback we got is that those super fantastic products are very complicated. They got a bazillion features that the vast majority of SMBs don't need. And again, the vast majority of MSPs just don't have the time to configure and use. And then finally, the results are not accurate. This is really just around noise, just by the nature of what vulnerability scanning products do. They are very noisy. So you look at a typical Class C IP address, you got 255 IPs times 65,535 ports times potentially 70, 80,000 vulnerabilities. If you cannot mitigate that noise, if you can't automate the process, then you can get overwhelmed. So when we did our survey, what we found is that as far as the state of the market goes, you've got really high-end, very mature, excellent products out there, but none of them are really built for the SMB space. So the challenge is that, 1, they are super expensive. 2, again, they are very noisy. They're not built for MSPs. They're not built for SMBs. They're not multi-tenant and so on. And so you can get overwhelmed. On the other side of the spectrum, You got the freeware stuff, and like all freeware stuff, it's great for kind of personal use, but as soon as you start using them in a commercial environment, typically they don't include support, or it's not free, lack of documentation, again, typically not multi-tenant aware, so it doesn't really work for the SMB space. And so you look at VulScan, and we're like the Goldilocks of vulnerability scanning products. So we're right in the middle there. What we really focused on was three things. So ease of use, super simple. When it comes to our entire, Kaseya family of company stack, we've got about 45, 50 different SKUs, and obviously I'm biased, but my personal opinion is that VulScan is probably the easiest product to deploy, manage, use, and generate revenue off of. So ease of use at a fraction of the price point of the big major enterprise competitors out there, and we really try to automate as much as possible so that we mitigate that noise so you can deliver this service and not cost you a lot of money to do so. So really high level, just kind of an overview of the way that the product's architected. You have a VulScan portal. It is a SaaS-based portal. It's everything you expect in the MSP world. So it's brandable, it's multi-tenant, two-factor authenticated, and so on. From that one portal, you can have customer A, and assuming it's a larger customer, you can have as many scanners as you like. So there's network scanners. You can add a couple agents to it, and all of that will be consumed, or will only consume one license. In addition to that, you can have a satellite office with some work from home users. And again, that's all one license. We take care of that for you. Obviously, MSPs have multiple customers. So you can have customer B. That could be a single scanner. It's got 250 devices on it. And then they've got some work from home users that you can put the agents on. And then customer C may be a 500 device environment. So you put on multiple scanners. So in this particular instance, you're only consuming 3 licenses with unlimited scanners, unlimited devices, unlimited scans, and so on. So that's how you're going to do your internal scanning. And then everything is managed and maintained inside of the portal. For your external scanning, there is one scanner. It's going to sit external environment, and it's going to scan all of your customers and then send that data back to the portal. We try to dashboard everything as much as possible, generate a bunch of reports, and then we integrate with the most common CRM products out there. So Kaseya VMS, Autotask, ConnectWise, and TigerPaw. And finally,
Yep. It sounds like you're wrapping up. Yep.
Yeah, I am wrapping up. So make money. So there's lots of ways to make money. So ad hoc scans, you can see pricing there is what we typically see in the industry. And then you've got a kind of quarterly, monthly, and then continuous monitoring. So this is kind of your silver, gold, platinum package. So to finish up, ease of use, cost, and noise mitigation are really the 3 main factors when it comes to VulScan. And with that being said, that's my time. So I appreciate it. Everybody out there, scan long and prosper, and then join us in the room. We will have a gift certificate as well for those who sign up for a demo and participate in the demo as well. So thank you so much, Matt.